New Jersey probably isn't the first place that comes to mind when people think about great cannabis. But for years, this state has been one of the most discerning cannabis markets in the country. Dense population, high income. Consumers know exactly what good weed looks like, smells like, and when that grow is producing organic, living soil cannabis that sells out almost immediately, selling it up to $75 an eighth, that gets the industry's attention. Today, we're meeting Frank and Lyndsey, the husband and wife team behind Brighterside Farms. No massive facility, no corporate machine, no race to the bottom. Their flower has become some of the most sought after cannabis in the state. We're heading inside Brighterside Farms to see how a small team is proving that craft cannabis can still win. Before we get started, quick shout out to our newest partners over at High Times. Thanks for collaborating with us on this one. And we're looking for new farms to film. So if you operate a legally licensed cannabis cultivation facility and want to be featured on CannaCribs, fill out the form in the description below. And while you're here, hit the like and subscribe button. What percent of the flower on shelves in New Jersey do you think is like living soil, like all natural organic?
Less than 1%. It is one of those things that like, we've been doing it for so long at this point, like it's kind of second nature. I think, you know, the commercial farmers in the state would like look at us like we're insane.
Are you insane?
A little bit, yeah. People think we're huge too, which is even funnier. But we're just a little cultivation that's just pumping out some really delicious weed.
You know, I actually can't wait to go see the facility right now because I saw it right when you guys got the building. Yeah. We knew each other, man, I think even when you were in Colorado,
yeah.
And then went to Michigan.
Yeah.
And then now you're running your own facility in Jersey and we're filming an episode here because you guys are just doing amazing things. And we're in your house right now, which is in Southern Jersey. Where exactly are we in Southern Jersey?
So we're in Mays Landing, about 20 minutes from our cultivation site in Pleasantville.
20 years ago, or even when I was a teenager, to say I'd be with like an amazing person that loves the same thing I do, and holy shit, we're growing weed and we're this close to our family and friends, and yeah, it's a really cool thing.
You know, Lyndsey said that you're really the brains behind the cultivation aspects of Brighterside Farms. Tell us a little bit about how you got into cannabis cultivation.
Finding seeds in weed and saying, man, this is cool. You can grow this, and other people do it and they're successful with it, and then just trying it and going for it. I was young. All of a sudden I was able to grow weed, you know, have weed and then share it with people, and doing it on my own accord, listening to radio shows, listening to just public radio, WHYY, Bet Your Garden on organic farming, and seeing what it does for other plants and then learning what it could do for weed plants too.
And as I understand it, like you guys deliver product to stores and it's sold out very quickly.
Yeah, product that we deliver to stores can sell out in less than 5 days. And that is, I mean, that's a dream, right? The type of connoisseur level, higher priced product that we're producing really only is 5 to 7% of a store's clientele. And we recognize that going into it. I grew up with some amazing parents that are old Deadheads, and so I kind of was born into that sort of like hippie culture, if you will. We were always a big camping family, and my dad, he used to bitch and moan about the fees on going to campgrounds and like, you know, paying, you know, $70 to hook up for the weekend. And so he discovered that we could do little mini festivals all over PA and pay $50 and you get music all weekend and you get a scene. And so we started going to all these little festivals.
Frank, who, you know, is your partner, and as I understand it, like you guys started Brighterside together. How did you guys meet?
We had the same friend groups, essentially, and then when I started going to little festivals, we started bumping into each other constantly. And it got to the point where I was like, all right, I'm done with the Philly scene, and I want to move either to Colorado or Montana. And Frank and I, we had just started dating, and he was like, let's go to Colorado. I'm like, let's do it. So we packed up all our and we moved out to Colorado. Frank cultivates cannabis everywhere. And I say that and I laugh because when we first started dating, there was a brief time that he, was staying out at my parents' house while we were getting ready to move west. And he actually started growing cannabis in a little air garden. And my dad loved it. He was like, this is so great.
So he's like, you're in the family.
Yeah, exactly. Frank had grown in multiple states, California, Vermont, Philly. I'm excellent at facility design and organization, so we really kind of took to that idea of building a business. That whole time period for us was like such an R&D of really figuring out like what is the best way to grow? How do we help people? How do we make this more efficient? What equipment fits in here?
So tell us about the Michigan operation, because you guys ended up doing some cool stuff in Michigan, including winning, the Michigan Grow Off. Tell us a little bit about some of the things like that.
The Grow Off competition is everyone gets the same clone. You pick up a clone, you don't know what it is, you don't know the name of it, you know nothing about it. You just pick out this clone. And you had to have it grown and tested. So we put it right into our production line. We didn't change anything. Everything's done through lab testing. So you submit the results and whoever gets the highest total cannabinoids is, the winner of the competition. And our cultivation won first place. I talked to one of the lab guys and he was like, yeah, some people were pissed off about it. They were like, who is this no-name company that came out of nowhere, hasn't even been operating for a year, and they just won the Grow Off? What the with living soil. This momentum of Frank and I really owning our own place and taking all of the lessons that we had learned from every location, every consulting job, all the management jobs, and being able to say, hey, now we can do this ourselves here. And we really, really lucked out and found a standalone structure, 5,000 square foot building, and we were like, this is it. This is gonna be perfect.
The craziest thing about how we grow is I never imagined with some of these monsters that we've helped consult with, that our choice would be, I'm gonna do 12 flavors in a 4-row room that is 15 600 watt lights.
So what really was the point where you decided, you know what, if I'm gonna grow cannabis, I wanna do it in a living soil type of organic type fashion?
Having a friend that was lucky enough to go, and he learned from a place in Amsterdam. This guy Soma was there and willing to share information about organic farming and organic practices with a friend of mine. And then tasting his weed, seeing how much better and tastier the weed is that came out of these big soil beds was absolutely a game changer for me.
So Frank, let's even talk about the process of a plant here at Brighterside. I'm talking about from clone all the way through flower. I saw you guys that are doing aeroponic cloning.
Aeroponics for me, when I'm starting off a plant, is probably the most basic, simplest way to do it. And you don't need anything. You basically need to know that the pH is between 5.8 and 6.8. The temperature between 68 and 72 degrees, and it needs basically 6.0 pH. Yellow on a dripper, and you have roots in anywhere from 6 to 10 days. Our life cycle of our plant is so important to let it finish. I can't even put a number on every single plant. It's just something that you can't do at huge grows and take your time with unless they dedicate a space to it. Right now, using just bagged soil, we're using 303, roots, organic, just because it's consistent. Basically, I'll add a little bit of a nitrogen mix to it and a little bit of alfalfa, and some bone meal is pretty much all I add to the plants that are going into that. And I'll mix that up really well, and I put the plants right into that. And they'll be in that 1 gallon pot 5 to 6 weeks.
Frank, a lot of people want to know how to do living soil well. It's not easy. Can you tell us how you made these beds? How deep are your beds? Honestly, how often do you amend them, feed them? What do you feed them?
Okay.
Give us a little bit of a masterclass on Brighterside living soil methodology.
So these beds take a good 12 months to 18 months to really become a humming medium that you can count on. Having an understanding that not every bed 100% will be the same. even if you put the same exact things into it, because it's very difficult to quality control and test every little thing that goes in. These beds are not one life cycle, these beds are years. And you're truly creating a life for years in here. Worms can live 5 to 8 years inside these. You create those layers, the bottom layer is a thick layer that you don't mess with. Everything's gonna end up down there. All the feeds that you go put in, all the different things that go in here is going to end up down there, adding to that life, as long as you don't damage it. We really think about the bottom half as a crust that we never really break through when it comes to mixing or amending or any of the things that we do. You might touch into that area slightly when you transplant a plant in, but mostly that bottom area is where all the life stays and grows and is undisturbed. So we'll have the red wigglers and night crawlers, and the night crawlers are a little deeper than the red wigglers, and I wait about a year until I add them. So really when it comes to this, that top layer, you wanna have a lot of air in it. You can even mix it with cocoa. You know, you can mix it with all types of stuff, clay balls, stones, that stuff that's gonna break down, it's gonna sink down, it's gonna get eaten away, and it's gonna biodegrade as it gets into the lower layer over time. Patience, let it happen. Because earth outside your house, it's there for a long time. These things that create amazing rich soil takes a long time, but we water by hand, keep it simple, is really where it's at when it comes to these beds. You can put in a bed like this, and this thing, you could put resources into it, and you can go out and buy what you want as far as your inputs. And a year and a half later, cut those inputs in half. And then a year and a half after that, cut them again, even again. Because it builds up with such rich nutrition that it just all of a sudden is just a bed of life. And that's where the 12 to 18 months, 24 months, if you're patient and you just don't crush it and don't overdo it.
The market has shifted a lot since I first been here. But when I first got here, I had retail space and I had a whole shelf of stuff that I didn't even want to try myself, which was really horrible for me coming as a cultivator. When I first got here in New Jersey, I owned a medical store and there wasn't even real RSO on the market. That's how broken the industry was. They were selling fake RSO oil because nobody cared what they were doing. It was really hard to come home at first and for there not to be any standard and for all of the cannabis to be taken over by these companies that were just here for profit. I believe that there is the true connoisseur here in New Jersey, and that's who we are really going towards, is the connoisseur. That's what brings me here to Brighterside as well. From when I was younger, all of the best cannabis in the world was shipped here to New Jersey, outside New York City, to the tri-state area because they got the most money for it. So we know and have a higher standard for what that bar actually is, and we always have. Back when I was younger, sour diesel was $550 an ounce. Since then, you know, there's a lot more farmers and the cannabis has actually gotten worse, not better. Because before it was small batch and love, just like this. It wasn't until I met Brighterside to see that things were actually changing and that there was a hope here. What makes them most unique compared to everyone else is the genetics they grow and the terpene profiles that they are showing. You'll see older genetics that most people aren't growing because they're just growing for profit. And here they're growing for the best profiles, for the best genetics, for the best terpenes, doing things that these practices in soil, organic, they're things that, you know, with genetics that are going 70 days or longer in their whole garden. These are things you're not gonna find everywhere. And these are things that we're hoping to show so more people can know that they can survive and do this. And to have a standard is what we're about. I believe in showing small batch is the new wave. I would say they have the highest standard in the whole state of anywhere I've been. And I'm proud to be not only have them on my shelf, but to be their friends.
What are some of the most popular Brighterside strains that are out in the market these days?
I would say the Black Widow Haze right now is very hot in the state of New Jersey. It sells out in less than 5 days in every store that we drop it at. GH1 is another fan favorite. We have so many genetics, 42 operating genetics right now.
Behind every great grow, there's a great team. At CannaCribs Consulting, we bring together PhDs, award-winning growers, and industry veterans who have scaled everything from boutique indoor farms to 25-acre greenhouses and 160-acre outdoor ops. We've helped producers increase yields by up to 40%, cut cost per gram below $1 for indoor operations, and below even 30 cents for greenhouse operations. And we've helped turn around underperforming operations. Just ask our clients, who call us professional, reliable, and a pleasure to work with. From IPM to financial modeling, fertigation design to labor optimization, our approach is holistic and hands-on. Ready to unlock your facility's full potential? Click the link in the description to talk to our team and start your custom consultation today. Optimize your grow, lower your costs, boost your yields. Book your consult below.
When you're making teas and you're making all the different stuff, the extracts are fantastic. Extracts are an instant. You're not gonna brew it and brew it and brew it for 24 hours. It has the right amount in there. You're gonna throw it in, you're gonna feed it right to the plants. You can basically take Stash Blend, which is a great extract, throw it in top of anything that you're doing, even just general feeds, and it's automatically gonna spark up life. It has a lot of microbials in it. It has the right kind of sugar in it. Some stuff does not want molasses, and that's what Stash Blend is. It's different, cleaner sugar. It's what plants want to finish and ripen and pop. It has sea kelps in it, it has silicone in it, it has humic in it, which is all things that support life inside of it instantaneously. Stash Base is a very simple mixture of a lot of things that you can spend a lot of money on trying to mix yourself. And really, it's an easy top-end amendment that you can do. So I'll amend 4 times a year, just kind of a top dressing amendment. And if you're using something like Stash Blend all the time, you're constantly adding small amounts of microbials without overwhelming the bed. So you're basically like assisting and assisting and assisting to get to the end. Humic acid that's inside the Stash Blend, it's one of the things that like fortifies, it helps things stabilize. If you've made teas and you've just used like worm castings and you've brewed them for a while, looking for like, why isn't this like showing me what I want it to do because I'm making my own recipe? One of the things people do miss is fulvic and humic acid. Those things, when you increase that, besides the great things it can do for the roots in the soil, inside these mixes, it does help react in the water to help stabilize some of these mixes. Stash Blend, the base, and the boost, I mean, pretty much those things are simple things. There's a lot of I've gone through that I have that made it complicated. I have 45 things, I have 25 things, I have 10 things. You're like, why do I have all this
And then
you try and simplify it.
Yep, exactly.
This is something that is more of a directed feed. When you're at week 2 or week 3, it's a little bit of a lesser bubble. You know, it's not quite as aggressive as like a 24-hour bubble. That stuff will like raise up and get like foamier, like fluffy like this.
Like a croissant layer.
The croissant layer, yeah.
Croissant.
So basically bacterias that like you want to have on the exterior of your plant. The stickiness when you foliar feed on a plant is really, really good for the healthier plant, for it holding on to things, for it rejecting things that it doesn't want, like spores and mold and stuff like that. Whereas an extract like this is going to be more right to the root zone. The teas that we do will include a lot of different things, lots of back guano, alfalfa meal. Alfalfa, you have to get into using alfalfa when it comes to this stuff because alfalfa is a superfood. You know, it's one of these things that like tricantanol comes out of it. It basically is an extract that comes out into the brews, and that's something that'll take 24 to 48 hours to get out, and that's going to super boost your plants. Then I'll hit it with another tea, which is only 2 teas that I really use, once at the beginning of the transition and then one at about day 25, 28, right around when a lot of roots stop going out and kind of exploring the root bed and just stop in their tracks and then just start pulling everything in. That's the same time when I'll hit it with a second big feed. And that'll be a big tea, a spray. That'll be the last time I spray.
So you're using your teas also as foliars?
Oh yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, that goodness on the outside is amazing for the bottom of your plants.
Yep. So I get your method now. Your teas are more like your monthly feeds that are actually like fortifying not only the plant but the soil, feeding the soil.
Absolutely.
And then your mixes are an instant application. So the seaweed in the stash blend, the corn steep liquor,
Exactly.
a little bit of the silica for some cell wall production, and
Kelps, different
kelp.
types of things that I use as far as, sea extracts,
Yep.
all those different things that we get
Yep.
that we put in there. Yeah, that's instant stuff.
You were mentioning earlier about rice tech.
Oh, rice. Yeah, believe it or not, jasmine rice works. I just like eating jasmine rice. So we eat a lot of rice. When you take clean, great water and you wash your rice really well and you take the rice wash,
Starch comes out, right?
there's lots of things, vitamins come out. I take that and you let it ferment, for 72 hours until it has like that smell to it where it's like
a yeasty
like
sweetness.
yeast, like before it like starts turning into
turn
alcohol.
sour.
It's rice wash and it smells great and it's like right at that point
That's
where
like
it's like
almost like
still smells
koji.
good. But you take that and I put it into one of the brewers and then I let it brew with what is in there, a part of the 48-hour process, just to spread that out, all that the vitamins
So you're
and
adding
good nutrition
vitamins from the
from the rice
rinse.
wash. We're blasting it with these heavy lights all of a sudden in the morning. It helps them like wake up and almost like get filled up again with like,
like coffee
their
for
green.
plants.
It's kind of like, I guess you could put it that way. It's like coffee for plants. That, and then I use crab juice basically. I'll ferment,
Crab emulsion?
Yeah, it kind of smells like down to earth, which is over here. But you take basically the crab and fish emulsion,
Yep.
and it's basically shrimp waste. So it's a crab shells, shrimp shells, and you can just let that stuff ferment until it reeks like you think it would, and that's perfect.
Yep.
And then you add it.
That's when it's perfect.
That's when it's
right for
perfect.
the
So that'll help
application.
release like enzymes in the plant that basically will move things quicker through the plant, and it'll help clean the plant almost. It'll help convert dead, dying goo that's on the root system into sugars.
Yep.
So it's like that's one of the things that
the
mix
stuff
does.
that's decomposing that just needs that extra boost for the plant to
Exactly.
convert to
And
nutrients.
it'll give you healthy roots.
Yep.
So Frank, growing in living soil is truly like an art and a science. I wanted to ask you, like, what are the things you measure quantitatively for the living, soil beds? And then what are the things that you really kind of measure qualitatively?
There's a couple things that we really, really look at. The plants themselves, how they grow, how they react throughout time. If I'm looking at a whole room and there's one section that truly looks deficient, or if I take the samples at the end in between and just do a basic pH test on my soil and a basic pH test on my runoff of the water and just see what these beds generally are, you have to make adjustments. I want everything to stay in the range of as close to 6 as possible on the scale of pH, no matter what I'm measuring. Soil itself will not really sway too much, but the runoff will. And the runoff will tell you what's going on in the whole thing faster. So the runoff is something you could test when you're pushing water through the plants at the end and getting the flush as much as possible as you can inside the soil beds. I guess the other thing is when you look at the tests, as far as when we send our flower off to actually be tested, we look at what it actually says when it comes to metals, when it comes to nutrition, when it comes to all those things. We want to see if anything's starting to change. If you are high in something that is a metal and you're afraid your plants are going to come high with a metal, you can do things like something called hydrozyme. You can add enzymes to the plants basically, and the different enzymes that you can add to the plants will actually convert and help the plants move things quicker through them. This lighting and this temperature and keeping things controlled, staying 72 degrees, right around 72 degrees for the last 4 weeks in my flower, being all the way up to like 84, 85 degrees when it first comes in, getting it down to like 78 degrees for like the middle 3 weeks. It's pretty much where I'm at in here. And humidity, I'm a little on the drier side. I'm always around 40% in here. Soil's a little different. I want it to dry back. Plants are not gonna show you in a living soil bed that they need water. And if they're asking for water, like you're late. And Quest is one of the companies that we use. There are dehumidifiers. They make it possible to actually do that with all these plants. Circulating the air at the top of the room, keeping the dehumidifier at the front of the room at the top, it just makes it so that we suck everything out of here pretty consistently for what the plants want. Quest is an American product. They're made in the USA. Everything in here we source for that because it's quality, it's gonna do what it's supposed to do. And if it doesn't, they're always going to answer you and help you. They're gonna make sure it's right.
The investors, they usually look at living soil and say like, this is chaotic and it doesn't make a lot of financial sense. So they usually almost never go in that direction.
No, they don't. A lot of our consulting revolved around multi-tier systems, rock wool cubes, cocoa, that sort of commercial side of things, because that's where the money is. I would say 5% of the marketplace maybe is even participating in living soil. There's not monitors and automation when it comes to living soil. And when they look at widgets, they look at spreadsheets, they want to see consistency. And a lot of that is like a Betty Crocker style cultivation, it's black and white. This is what we do. There's no changing. This is the method. And to be a living soil farmer, you have to be really like in tune. You have to be a real cultivator at heart. I really do believe that. We don't have monitors in our room that like go off when something's wrong. Like you walk your ass in there and what does it feel like, And you have to be a real farmer to know like what the environmentals are. So that's not something an investor can invest in.
Mistakes are easy to make. Overdoing it and pushing the plant will definitely cause more harm than good. Watering consistently with non-aerated water with no oxygen, that will destroy that part and it'll destroy it quickly. Biggest mistake that I've probably made is trying to do too much too fast, overbrewing tea or overbrewing whatever type of thing that you're gonna feed to this, is letting it go too long and eating up all of its actual goodness which comes with oxygen. As soon as they eat it all up, they start declining rapidly, and then you feed that rapidly declining mix to your soil, and your soil becomes basically a solid body of clay. And it's something that can be fixed very easily, by just simply adding oxygen-enriched water and actually tilling up the top portion of your beds. Being slow and methodical is very, very important with this stuff. Taking your time to let soil actually become what the miracle soil can create, with mostly just water being added. Giving it a good thick mixture to help guide it as far as a tea, maybe twice in its life cycle.
We have 2 people that work at Brighterside, which is insane. For the first year, Frank and I operated the business solely by ourselves. It was insane. I literally look back at that time and I'm like, I don't know how I physically trimmed this much weed. Last year we had 2 rooms. We were just over 300 pounds in a year. And this year we're going for 350 because we got a 3rd room that we put on. You can change someone's day with a gram of weed, right? Like you can change their experience, you can change, their world with a really delicious gram of weed, and every gram has an impact. It's our job to capture that and provide that to our consumers. And there's been so many times where we like dump out an eighth and I'm like, is this good enough? Do you think someone will love this? The last thing I want to do is put together a jar that someone gets and they're like, meh, like that would break my heart.
It's April of 2026. We're out here filming you guys. What's the future of Brighterside look like?
Oh man, we have some really, really exciting things on the horizon. One of which is we are expanding into greenhouses, which I'm really pumped for. Primarily going to extractors in the state. We'll also be offering a lower SKU with our sun-grown greenhouse bud. In addition, we will be putting out a topical cream, something I'm super passionate about. I've been making topical creams for a really long time.
Really, there's a level of like bespoke work that goes on behind the doors inside of a small craft operation to turn out a level of product that gets true eyes on it.
Frank's been cultivating for almost 30 years at this point, and it's like that 30 years of experience, and myself with 20 years of experience cultivating, it's just the lessons. It's just lessons, and they just build on top of one another.
We want people to appreciate and love the plant and find their medicine within our cultivation and count on it over and over and over again.
To us, growing in living soil, organic farming is the best possible cannabis we can grow. First of all, I don't like when people call it sub. I'm not a sub fan, and I'm not a grinder. No. Yeah, dude.
It's an underwater vessel.
No, they're not subs. They're hoagies, dude. White House subs in Atlantic City.
Yeah.
Sugar Hill is way better than White House subs. And let's talk about rolls. Let's talk about the AC roll or the seated.
Yeah, seated semolina.
Seated.
All day.
All day long.
So Lyndsey.
You can start over.
I was
can
gonna
say
say
my name.
Lyndsey. What's your name? No, we'll do that. So, what's your name and what's your role at What's that butter said? Okay. So, what's your name and what's your role at Brighterside?
My name's Lyndsey Shaw. I am the owner and Chief Cultivation Officer. I am not the Chief Cultivation Officer. I am the Chief Operations Officer. Everybody and everything. What is going on with me right now? Jesus Christ.
How now, brown cow? How now, brown cow?
That's how you loosen up the gooses.
You San Diego. Better weed.
Nice.
This is where we first found it.
It's been something that we've really focused on throughout the years. Sorry, gobbles keep distracting me.
Oh, gobbles.